Rich Eisen from the NFL Network is all natural. All natural.
Let's say, speaking of bulked up,
Yeah.
that was a great segue, Dan.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
I was always wondering what Turka glue was. Thank you so much, everybody. I will be here all week. I really will.
What is the topic with the NFL right now?
I guess it's getting ready for the Combine. The Combine starts a week from Saturday with the on-field drills. Players will start arriving a week from today. And, and the question is what's this draft class going to look like? And I don't think anybody knows. This is a true, throw the chess pieces up and see where they land. It really, there's people that think that some quarterbacks may not even go in the first round at all. That would be a surprise. But I had Mike Mayock as my podcast guest this week, and he thinks that it's an interior line draft, which isn't the most sexy thing. But if you need a defensive tackle, you need a guard, you need somebody to protect on the offensive line, this is your draft. But and I'm sure that's not what Chiefs fans really want to hear right now, where they finally have a first overall pick to maybe go and get a quarterback. But they're 1 year too late on that front.
Yeah, somebody's going to get desperate, and they're going to reach, and somebody's going to go get a quarterback. They do it every year, and I would stay away from these quarterbacks. It's certainly up in the top 15. I got to get something that's proven, not something that is tempting like this.
Well, I think I've spoken to you about this. If I'm an owner in the NFL, I'm saying, let's throw Cam Newton out because he was first overall. But, he was in that draft. 2 years ago, Colin Kaepernick was sitting there top of the second round. Last year, middle third round, Russell Wilson was sitting out there. Look at those guys right now. Look at the future of the position. Look at the nature of offenses in the NFL and where it's going towards. Who's that guy in this draft? And go find him. I asked that of Mike Mayock, and he said, I don't think he's in there. And that is the conundrum right now. If you are a team looking for a quarterback in the draft, which is maybe why Chip Kelly and the Eagles surveyed the scene and said, let's redo a deal with Vic and hope he doesn't get hurt. And there's somebody like Nick Foles, maybe they could coach him up quickly. As he said, too, that there's a lot of snaps, there's a lot of reps in his practices, which is another thing that everyone's going to be looking at this year, is how does Chip Kelly's offense go from one level to the other? 90 reps in practice, that ain't happening in the National Football League. So how is that going to work? But at any rate, maybe that's why they surveyed the scene and said, free agent-wise, draft-wise, the kids that we need or the people that we need aren't out there. Let's go get Vic and let's secure his services right now.
He's Rich Eisen from the NFL Network joining us. Dan Patrick Show. Over under 2.5 quarterbacks in the first round.
I will take the under on that.
All right, I would too.
I would take the under.
Over under.
No, this is just for mere
entertainment person.
Mere gaming purposes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Over under 2.5 running backs first round.
It's a good question because again, the Doug Martin effect, Alfred Morris. Those kids.
Go under.
I think I'm going to go under, but you never know. You never know, but I will go under. I will do that.
I saw Michael Silver, covers the NFL for Yahoo Sports, says that Jadeveon Clowney should sue to be able to get out of his junior year. Okay,
he would be the number one overall pick. I think.
Yes, he would. But by the time this is heard, his class will have graduated. It's going to be dragged out here.
Claret attempted this very same thing and lost. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's unfortunate for him, and hopefully he just gets through his next season healthy because he is a beast, and he would be number one overall right now. It's just unfortunately the nature of the figurative beast right now that he's going to be stuck there, for the lack of a better phrase. Being a big man on campus isn't a bad thing to be for a year.
The Cowboys looking at Romo with a long-term deal?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about right now. And again, you just survey the scene in the NFL and who's out there. Who is out there? And there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. We've talked about it. We're going to talk about it some more over the next 2 months. Who is out there? Is it Alex Smith? Is he the plum prize of this year's, I guess, free agent, even though he's not a free agent? You got to have to trade for him or maybe wait for the 49ers to do something with him. Who is out there? So Tony Romo's the guy, and in many ways, again, I think he gets too much blame there. There's so much else going on in Dallas. And now that now that Jerry Jones has hired John Gruden's staff,
I know,
and surrounded his head coach with them, that will be the thing that we'll be talking about all season long. But we're already talking about it. Calling plays. Who's calling the plays? Garrett says it's going to be him, even though, well, are you the one who's going to be in Romo's head? Well, yeah, maybe that's Bill Callahan. I mean, it's already starting. But I am, again, of the mindset. 1 year ago right now, Dan, if I had told you that Joe Flacco in 1 year would be the Super Bowl MVP after a season in which Tim Tebow became completely irrelevant as a football and off-the-field figure, and there would be something called a Fail Mary due to a replacement referee situation, and catfishing along with deer antler spray. Who can predict anything anymore? So why can't Tony Romo be the Super Bowl MVP, or Vic, for that matter, 1 year from now? You just can't say never anymore, ever.
I understand that. I think those were far-reaching stories.
Maybe those were the extremes. I was hitting the low-hanging fruit, maybe, but still, you just can't predict anymore. Flacco is the Super Bowl MVP. Period. End of story. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Even though he did, nearly take his team to the Super Bowl last year, nobody, certainly entering Week 16, thought that he had that in him.
But I think people still aren't sold on Joe Flacco.
Well, the same way that Eli,
yes,
even after he won his first with the Tyree catch and all that he had to do it again. And even when he did do it again this past year, people are wondering if he's elite or not. But he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Of the salary that Flacco may end up getting based on the top 5 paid quarterbacks in the NFL, Eli is 3 on that list. So he's paid like he's elite. Actually, his salary next year is $500,000 more guaranteed than his brother. And as you know, we're not talking about Dan Patrick's show favorite Cooper Manning.
Cooper.
Yeah. But still, I mean, Flacco is going to have to hear that again, I'm sure. Certainly like Week 8. If he can't beat Ben Roethlisberger in a regular season game, well, that's the nature of the way it goes in the NFL. But still, I just will never say that, hey, Romo's not going to be the guy in Dallas. He absolutely could be. It's just how are the other pieces going to fall into place around him?
I saw where Logan Mankins of the Patriots called his teammate Rob Gronkowski a meathead.
Well, he's our meathead, Dan.
Yeah, okay. Given his age, he's having fun.
Yes.
I don't want him, doing wrestling moves and, going all MMA on his friends with that broken forearm.
Yes.
You got a problem with Gronk being Gronk.
That's the Patriots' conundrum there, is that, he's got to just be the guy on the field who plays, I guess, 2/3 of the season this last year and still led the league in touchdowns for a tight end. You just can't go out there with your, and kick someone in the Musburgers, on TMZ, and then flip them over. You can't do that sort of thing, and I'm sure Brady will let him know. But he's still the guy. He's still the guy. I think at this point in time, someone's just got to say to him, don't do that, Rob, and provide him with a better place. And actually, this is what I am doing, actually, Dan. I don't know if you're aware of this, but here's what I'm doing for Gronk, and he has agreed, is that my podcast special TV show that's coming on the Thursday after the Combine. Last year I did that show, and I put Hines Ward on the red carpet of the Oscars to represent my show and interview celebrities like he was on the red carpet.
Correspondent.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year it's Rob Gronkowski. I'm putting Gronk on the Oscars red carpet in 2 Sundays. That is happening.
Wow.
Credentialed, locked in, doing it.
Just remind him that I want the cast that we were going to hang it up in the man cave.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I will do that.
I think he thought I was joking. I said, no, I want the cast when you take it off.
No.
So just remind him of that.
He's You know what I mean?
He's having fun.
He is, and he just sometimes gets carried away in this TMZ. Like, could you imagine if TMZ existed in the Mickey Mantle or Namath era? You know, I mean, it's just I see those things, and you just hope, obviously, he doesn't hurt himself anymore because of what he. And the Patriots, he used to a couple of years ago. I viewed him as a luxury. Now he's a necessity, I think, for them. They need him in the worst way.
I agree.
And so he's got to, understand that, and I believe people will be talking to him about that. And in the meantime, the people who are strolling the red carpet at the Academy Awards in 2 Sundays from now might, get gronked. It's just that simple. But that'll be fun.
Run, Rich Run campaign, NFL.com. Fans can run the 40 in their work clothes at their workplace and enter the video in the contest there.
That's right. And so last year we had people get in like their full get-ups and at work and run hopefully safely and not get fired doing it.
Did I tell you about my brother when he did that for the USFL?
When did he do that?
He was going to work. He had a suit and tie on, and I think it was Oklahoma of the USFL. And he stopped in they had tryouts in Cincinnati, and he had his wing tips on. So the Oklahoma Outlaws were in town. And my brother didn't tell anybody he was doing this. So he ran with a shirt, tie, dress pants, wingtips.
I love it.
And at the end of his 40-yard dash, he did a somersault because he fell. So he's on the front page of the Cincinnati newspaper. And then we were like, hey, what'd you do yesterday? Oh, I just went to work. Oh, really? You didn't go anyplace else? No, why? And we showed him the front page of the newspaper.
That's classic.
Busted.
I have never heard that story. That's fantastic.
He didn't make the team.
Well, if he did it in this day and age, he could have taken a video and sent it in. But he does, and what I'll be doing at the Combine, I think what a lot of people want to do is just run. Run these things and have fun with it.
Okay, over under 6.1 seconds.
That's the issue, Dan, and I'm going to take the under because I'm feeling it right now. I've been working on the core.
Have you ever run a sub 640?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, certainly not in my suit and tie. And that was born out of just being bored 8 years ago, waiting to tape something for Total Access at the Combine.
Man, I'd like to take you down so bad.
Oh, Dan, listen, it's not about you. It's just not about you.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it's not.
It is.
It's not run, Rich, run with Dan. Or run,
I just want
to run Dan. It's just not everything has to be about you,
It's
Dan.
about being a competitor, Rich.
No, I know that.
That's all.
I know,
you put
I
up
know
a time.
Look, I get what burns within.
That's all. That's all this is.
Let some people just have the spotlight sometimes. You can do it. You can do it. I know it, Dan.
I can't. I want a piece of you. I want to take you on in the 40.
Okay. Well, maybe one day we can arrange that.
Okay. Why don't you post your time?
I'm going to post it, sure. But
then
you
I'll
have
beat
to
it.
run it in a suit. When was the last time you put on a suit outside of a Sunday, Dan? When was the last time you wore a suit outside of a Sunday? Not even at the Olympics.
Wedding. Yeah, I was wearing a suit at the Olympics.
You were?
Yes. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll wear a suit, dude. I don't care.
So that was the last time then. The last time you wore a suit.
At the Olympics and then Football Night in America.
Right, and then in a couple of years you'll be in
Sochi.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll be wrapped in Gore-Tex. Those are my favorite Dan Patrick stand-ups, by the way. The Gore-Tex stand-ups are my favorite ones.
Vancouver.
Your face looks all Coughlin-like.
Yeah, when I go Gore-Tex on your ass.
Go Gore-Tex.
Yep.
You can't go back when you go Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex Gecko. That's me. All right. We'll talk to you soon, and good luck with Run, Rich, Run.
Yes, NFL.com/RunRichRun. They run at work. You put the video up, and you can win some prizes and stuff.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Man, I'm going to take you down. Thanks, Rich.